Lisa Johnson sat in her tiny London apartment, staring at a stack of unpaid bills on the kitchen counter. The numbers blurred together, but one figure stood out: £35,000, the amount of debt she had accumulated just trying to survive. The reality of her financial situation was suffocating. She was a single mother to twin boys, struggling to make ends meet with a job that barely covered the cost of childcare. 7 years ago, Lisa was earning £20,000 a year, a salary that, after taxes and expenses, left almost nothing for savings or emergencies. Every month was a battle, juggling overdue payments, basic necessities, and the silent guilt of not being able to give her children more. How did it come to this, she wondered. Life hadn't always been easy. Born into a working-class family, Lisa had learned early that financial security wasn't a given. She had tried different jobs, corporate roles in law, banking, and even entertainment, but none brought her the stability she so desperately needed. The idea of career growth felt like a distant dream, overshadowed by the immediate urgency of keeping a roof over her children's heads. One evening, after putting the twins to bed, Lisa scrolled mindlessly through social media, feeling trapped. She saw others living lives she had once imagined for herself: successful careers, financial freedom, opportunities for their children. What do they have that I don't? She thought. The answer hit her hard: knowledge. If she wanted to change her situation, she needed to learn how. No one was going to hand her a lifeline. She had to build her own. Lisa made a decision that night. She would not stay trapped in this cycle. She had no business experience, no capital, and no idea where to start. But she had determination, and that was enough. With no money to invest in courses, she turned to the one free resource available to her: libraries. Every day, she spent hours studying books on business, marketing, and self-development. She attended free online webinars, took notes, and absorbed every piece of knowledge she could find. Her first goal? Find a business idea. And one day, inspiration struck. She had planned her own wedding on a tight budget and realized that many brides faced the same challenge. Could she turn this into a business? With no money for advertising, she started by offering her services on Facebook groups, helping budget-conscious couples plan their weddings. It was risky. It was outside her comfort zone, and it had zero guarantees. But she had no choice but to make it work. And so, with nothing but a borrowed laptop and a relentless drive to change her life, Lisa Johnson took her first step into the world of entrepreneurship. Lisa's heart pounded as she hit post on her first business offer in a Facebook group. She had no website, no marketing experience, and no reputation, just a deep belief that she could make this work. The message was simple: affordable wedding planning for budget-conscious couples. Need help organizing your big day? Let me take the stress off your shoulders. She waited. 1 hour passed, then 2. Nothing. Doubt crept in. What if no one was interested? What if this was another failure? Then a notification. A woman named Sarah commented, "Hey, I'm getting married in 6 months and we're on a tight budget. Can we chat?" Lisa replied instantly. Within minutes, they were messaging back and forth. Sarah was overwhelmed with wedding planning, juggling work, and trying to stay within her budget. Lisa, drawing from her own experience, laid out a plan for her, finding vendors, organizing timelines, and managing costs. "I love it," Sarah said. "How much do you charge?" Charge? Lisa hadn't even thought about pricing. Scrambling, she blurted out, £250. Sarah agreed. Lisa had just landed her first client. That night, Lisa felt something she hadn't in years: hope. If she could land one client, she could land more. She set a goal: 10 clients in 3 months. Determined, Lisa hustled. She posted in every relevant Facebook group, reached out to local vendors, and offered free consultations to showcase her expertise. She read books on customer psychology and business strategy, learning how to build trust and close sales. And it worked. Within 5 months, Lisa's wedding planning business was fully booked for the next year and a half. Her income had tripled. She was still working long hours, often replying to clients while making dinner or putting her twins to bed. But she had control over her life in a way she never had before. But she also saw a problem. This success wasn't scalable. She was trading her time for money, and there were only so many weddings she could plan. If she wanted to build true financial freedom, she needed a new approach. And one night, as she read yet another business book, she found it. Passive income. The idea was simple. Create something once and get paid for it repeatedly. Lisa had learned so much about business in the past year. What if she could teach others? The thought electrified her. Was it possible to earn money while she slept? She was about to find out. Lisa had proven to herself that she could make money on her own terms. But as her wedding planning business grew, so did her exhaustion. More clients meant more work. She was still stuck in the cycle of trading time for money. That's when she remembered the book she had read on passive income. The idea of making money without direct effort every single time. The thought wouldn't leave her mind. What if she could get paid for her knowledge instead of her time? That night, she opened her laptop and wrote down every lesson she had learned about building a successful business from scratch. She had figured out how to market services online, attract customers without spending money on ads, and turn an idea into income. Could she teach this to others? The answer came sooner than she expected. Lisa tested the waters by offering free advice to small business owners. In Facebook groups, she started sharing strategies that had worked for her. To her surprise, people started asking, "Do you offer coaching?" Lisa had never thought of herself as a teacher, but this was an opportunity she couldn't ignore. She quickly put together a 6-week online course on how to start and grow a service-based business, teaching the exact steps she had used to go from £35,000 in debt to fully booked. She priced it at £200 per student and promoted it online. Within a week, 20 people signed up. Lisa had just made £4,000 without taking on a single new client. For the first time, she saw what was possible. This wasn't just about making money. This was about freedom. Lisa's course had worked, but she knew she could go bigger. She studied the world of online memberships, digital products, and high-ticket coaching. She hired mentors, joined masterminds, and refined her strategies. Then, she launched Lisa Johnson's Strategy, a business dedicated to helping entrepreneurs build passive income. She shifted her focus entirely to teaching people how to create online courses, digital products, and memberships that could generate revenue 24/7. The results were explosive. She introduced higher ticket programs, membership communities, and group coaching. Her audience grew. Her revenue multiplied. And then, in 2021, she did something that changed everything. She planned her biggest launch yet, a high-ticket business program. But this time, she had a strategy. The goal? £1 million in revenue. The timeline? 1 hour. What happened next shattered every expectation. Lisa had spent months preparing for this moment. Every piece of her strategy, her audience building, her marketing, her content, had led to this single event. She was about to launch her biggest online program ever. The goal? £1 million in 1 hour. It seemed impossible. But Lisa had learned something critical over the years. Success isn't about luck. It's about strategy. She had studied online launches relentlessly. She knew how to create urgency, build anticipation, and turn interest into sales. She had built a loyal audience who trusted her, followed her content, and were eager to learn from her. Now, it was time to see if everything she had learned would pay off. Lisa took a deep breath as she hit the Go Live button. Thousands of people had registered for this event. The chat exploded as soon as she started speaking. She walked her audience through the step-by-step process of building a successful passive income business. She shared her own transformation, how she went from struggling to pay for childcare to running a multi-million-pound business. Then, she introduced her program. This is your chance to build financial freedom, just like I did. And then, she opened the doors. Lisa barely had time to blink before she heard the first ding from her sales notifications. Then another, and another. Within minutes, the floodgates had opened. People were signing up at an unbelievable pace. Her phone screen kept flashing as payment after payment came in. The sales tracker climbed faster than she could process. 5 minutes in, £300,000. 10 minutes in, £600,000. Lisa felt lightheaded. This was actually happening. By the time the clock hit 1 hour, she saw the final number, £1 million. In 1 hour. Lisa sat in stunned silence, staring at the numbers. Just 7 years ago, she had been drowning in £35,000 of debt. Now, she had made £1 million in 60 minutes. Her hands trembled as she sent a voice note to her closest friends. I did it. Oh my God, I actually did it. But this wasn't just about the money. This was proof. Proof that women, single moms, people from humble beginnings, anyone with drive, could build their own financial freedom. Proof that passive income wasn't a scam. It was a strategy. And proof that her life would never be the same again. But Lisa wasn't done. Because what happened next would take her success to an entirely new level. Lisa barely had time to process what had happened. She had just made £1 million in 1 hour. A number so staggering that it almost didn't feel real. But reality hit quickly. Her inbox exploded with messages from students eager to start her program. Social media was flooded with people congratulating her, sharing her story, and asking, "How did you do it?" The answer was simple: strategy, execution, and a belief that business doesn't have to be a constant grind. Lisa had unlocked something powerful: the ability to generate life-changing wealth without being tied to a desk 24/7. But she knew one thing for certain. This was only the beginning. Lisa's £1 million launch wasn't just a personal milestone, it was a statement. It proved that online businesses could be scalable, ethical, and wildly profitable. She had spent years testing what worked and eliminating what didn't. Now, she was teaching those exact methods to thousands of entrepreneurs. Her students were seeing real results. Businesses that once struggled to make a few £100s a month were now generating 6 figures a year. Lisa was no longer just a business owner, she was an industry leader. Over the next few years, Lisa scaled her business beyond what she once thought possible. She built multiple revenue streams, online courses, coaching programs, memberships, and live events. She grew a global audience with students from all over the world applying her strategies. She launched premium mastermind programs, helping entrepreneurs go from 6 figures to multi-7 figures. She wrote a Sunday Times best-selling book, Make Money Online, sharing everything she had learned. And most importantly, she stayed true to her mission, helping people escape financial struggle and build freedom-based businesses. Teaching ethical strategies. No fake scarcity, no manipulation, just real business tactics that work. Proving that financial success isn't just for the lucky, it's for those who take action. But even as she built her empire, Lisa never forgot where she came from. She knew what it felt like to be broke, scared, and desperate for a way out. And now, she wanted to give back. Lisa became an ambassador for anti-bullying organizations, using her platform to support causes she cared about. She started mentoring women in business, especially single mothers, showing them that financial freedom was within reach. And she continued to push the boundaries of what was possible in the online business world. Because to Lisa, this wasn't just about money. It was about power, the power to create the life you want, the power to change your future, the power to prove that no matter where you start, you can rise. But there was one last piece of her journey left, the final chapter in her transformation. And it would be the most personal one yet. Lisa stood on the stage, looking out at the packed auditorium. Hundreds of people, aspiring entrepreneurs, business owners, and dreamers, sat in eager anticipation, waiting for her to speak. This was a full-circle moment. Just a few years ago, Lisa had been struggling to make ends meet, drowning in debt, and desperate for a way to build a better life for her children. Now, she wasn't just teaching business strategies, she was inspiring a movement. For years, Lisa had worked to escape financial survival mode. She had built an empire based on passive income, strategic business growth, and ethical marketing. Her business had now generated over £20 million in revenue. Her coaching programs had helped thousands of entrepreneurs transform their side hustles into full-time, financially independent careers. Her Sunday Times best-selling book, Make Money Online, had become a blueprint for anyone wanting to break free from the 9-to-5 grind. But for Lisa, the real reward wasn't just the money. It was the messages from single mothers, struggling business owners, and corporate workers looking for an exit plan, all saying the same thing: "You changed my life." That was her true legacy. Lisa had learned something profound on her journey. Wealth isn't just about money. It's about freedom. The freedom to spend time with family, to choose how you work, to travel, to give back, to live life on your own terms. It's about breaking generational cycles of struggle and creating opportunities that didn't exist before. And most of all, it's about control. Lisa had gone from working long hours for low pay to being the architect of her own life. Now, she wanted to help as many people as possible achieve the same. As Lisa spoke to the audience, she shared one final message: your circumstances do not define you. Your choices do.